Dylan's in a coma. I don't know if there's anything of him left in there. If he'll ever find his way back. The portal's been closed, but the hiss is still in the oldest house. And the lockdown can't be lifted as long as any trace of it remains. I'm working on a solution with my management team, but there is still a long road ahead. I'm the director of the Federal Bureau of Control. We're in this together. You and I.
That's the end. And here's the true credits. I would guess, and once again no music, so I'm assuming it would be copyright. So the game's removed it. I have quite enjoyed the game. There is some side stuff still to do, so once all these are done, we'll get straight into those. I don't really want to go too fast. I want to still be able to read the names. I don't want to skip it. And it's just back to the start. You are the director of the Federal Bureau of Control. The crisis is not over. Your work is not done.
Shawshank Redemption. That's the name of the movie I was thinking of earlier.
Search the
Not
dangerous...
important, but that was it.
Search the dangerous depths of the oldest house for classified bureau secrets and hidden clues.
Then which is the object of power? The slide?
Variants in alterations. His corruption manifests in vastly different ways. Some hosts remain largely unchanged, while others are barely recognizable as human. What determines this level of alteration? Is it the duration of corruption? It could simply be an evolutionary process, each entity representing a stage of growth in an undiscovered linear progression leading towards what? Additionally, his entities possess various paranatural abilities. How have they achieved this? Do they gain them from corrupting objects of power? Have they corrupted a single highly talented para-utilitarian and divided their access to paranatural abilities across the network of his corrupted hosts? As a scientist, I am hindered by the sheer number of questions. It's difficult to identify where one should begin. What is the most potent question? How do we kill it? That seems like a good start. Refer to file redacted for full report. Director Faden photograph. Oh, that was the only one. Case files. Slide projector. The object is a redacted with a vertical tray. Well, we know it's a slide projector with a vertical tray. The object creates redacted. See Dr. Darling presentation 26.1 for more details. The only redacted to successfully produce this effect resulted in the capture of redacted. See Dr. Darling presentation 26.3 for more details. Object has not been successfully bound. The para-utility of this object does not require binding. Background. Discovered by the Bureau responded to redacted. See AWE 24 case file for more information. Many of the occupying redacted were redacted. See files on P6, P7 for details. P6 being Dylan Faden, P7 being Jesse Faden, our character. The entirety of the redacted was transported to the Bureau for examination to find additional redacted or other altered materials. So the entirety of the ordinary dump was transported here. We can piece most of that together. Another hotline. Endless grind.
My reflection trapped in the darkness of the coffee I nurse. The rain turns the lights of the city into a mosaic on the windows. The day's paper lists all the things wrong in the world. The list grows longer by the day. The difference between the morning and the night. Coffee. Whiskey. No other difference. The alarm goes off at 5 a.m. It feels like I just closed my eyes. It's dark. I sit up on the bed in the gloom. I get up, I shower. The driver waits for me downstairs, takes me to the oldest house. An old man stares at me in the car window. It's raining. It's dark. Late at night, he brings me back here. It's not a home, it's a room where I sleep in, waking up just as tired as I was before going to bed. Endless grind.
And one more unread one here, or unseen. The future. The hiss is removed, silent from the astral plane. You have proven, beaten the not you. We tolerate you very much. You are prepared, unprepared, for what comes next. We will speak again in the future expansion. Good work, Victory, Director.
Or the slide projector.
I've already done the
Or is
expansions.
the distinction itself a fallacy? Jesse, good to see you. We've got Dylan situated in his containment cell like you asked. I've got medical staff running tests as we speak, and I'd be happy to walk you through the details later. Other than that, what's next?
With the slide projector turned off, the hiss are shut out, but we're stuck with the ones already here. We can't lift the lockdown until they're all eradicated. If any hiss ever got out, that would be the end of everything.
Well, eliminating them all will take time. Look, I'll do what I can on my end, but my research is progressing slower than I'd like.
I think I can help with that. I am making you the head of research, effective immediately. I want you to use everything the Bureau has, every resource, every confidential scrap of data, and find a way to keep the hiss out for good.
That's... really? I mean, yes, I can certainly... yes! Yes, I accept.
You'll do great. Besides, I didn't really have anyone else lined up.
I'm honored, Jesse, really. Thank you.
It's Dr. Darling's no good. Can't do the role anymore.
I've looked through the docs we found in Dimensional Research. That slide projector is extremely powerful. You were right to shut it down.
Jesse as director.
How do you feel about me taking over as director?
You act like it just happened. You've been director since we first met, remember? I am still thrilled. Nothing's changed. Not for me. But the Bureau has changed. Trench and Darling are gone. Their knowledge, anything not written down, disappeared with them. They knew the Bureau better than anyone.
They're the Bureau's past, Emily. We won't operate like they did. We'll learn from their mistakes. We'll be better than they ever were. We won't ever be like them.
Darling's fate.
When the hiss got into my head, I saw some weird things. I think Darling even spoke to me. Does that make any sense to you?
Empirically, no, but phantom voices as well as hallucinatory states are not uncommon here. And considering the forces that Dr. Darling was working with, he could have been transferred to a different plane of consciousness, physically or otherwise.
And that doesn't upset you?
Oh, very. And the fact that he hid those forces from me, it's infuriating. But Darling's dream was always to look beyond our reality. This time he may have taken a step too far, but as long as his consciousness can perceive his surroundings, I'm sure he's loving it.
Maybe Darling was just trying to protect you from the darker side of his work.
Fuck that. I'm not a child. Like, don't just assume I'm going to consider something morally repugnant.
Which it all was.
Which it all was, of course.
Dylan's condition.
How is Dylan?
The same. I can't detect any his activity, but his physiology has certainly been altered by it. I can't tell if his brain activity is genuine or simply the aftermath of the hiss, like spasms. Dylan could wake up tomorrow for all I know. I really can't say.
Then I just have to wait for him. That's fair. He waited a long time for me.
Don't worry. We'll be monitoring him round the clock. If he wakes up, we'll be ready. I don't mean that in a hostile way, just... well, you know.
I hear you. My brother isn't exactly popular around here. I hope one day he'll have the chance to change that.
HRA failure.
So, there was a moment after Hedron died that I couldn't feel my powers. The hiss got into my head. Just for a moment.
So that explains the HRA outage. Before we knew what was happening, the hiss had us. They were in my head. I saw terrible things. I mean, I was about to go under forever when the hiss was pushed back. The HRAs had come back on. Dylan vanished afterwards, and we fought off the hiss that came after him. So if Hedron's death knocked out the HRAs, that means there must be a new local source for them to relay, which I'm guessing must be...
me.
Yep.
You.
I was just about to say that.
Hedron is dead, assuming that word even applies to a resonant-based life form. But whatever it awakened in you, the power you call Polaris, is still active. Or at least, that's what my instruments are telling me.
I don't think we're ever gonna understand all of this. And I'm okay with that. I'm just glad you're here with me. That's good to know. Thanks, Emily.
The board.
I found Dylan attacking the astral plane and the board. What was he hoping to accomplish?
Huh. Since they arrived, Hiss have been corrupting objects of power, which have an inherent link to the astral plane. Maybe their goal was to access the astral plane and the board itself.
That still doesn't tell us why.
His motives are a difficult thing to work out, but I have been digging through confidential files and noticed a strange gap in knowledge regarding the board. Looks like any data on them has either been deleted or was never gathered in the first place.
Then maybe it's time someone looked into that.
Maybe it is.
there's all that.
Well, I've got a
Talk
bureau to
done.
run. See you soon.
Yes, ma'am, Director Faden.
Please, Emily. Not even as a joke.
We gotta be methodical. Clean out every last hiss with one thorough sweep, room by room. But I heard you closed the hiss portal, or whatever it is we're calling it. If we could just flush out the stragglers.
Arish's future.
So, what's next for Simon Arish?
Well, first off, I'm banning all slide projectors. That's it. Seriously, though, we need to review our protocols. Research should not be making decisions that endanger the entire Bureau, fuck it, the entire fucking world, without some serious oversight.
I think Pope would agree. Certain people in the Bureau have been working in the shadows for too long.
And I'd like to make these HRAs part of the mandatory Bureau uniform. They're not stylish, but better safe than sorry.
I don't think anyone will complain. Not after this.
Jesse as director.
What are your thoughts on me serving as director?
Well, I couldn't be more excited. I mean, look, don't get me wrong, Trench was fine, but... Well, you pulled us back from the brink, so... Well, I'm honored to serve, man. I mean, fuck, shit. Phaeton. Sorry.
He'll get it one day.
Situation report.
So, what's the situation in my bureau, Arish?
The situation is we are still up to our eyes in hiss. Not to mention the months of repairs it's gonna take just to get this place up and running again.
But is it doable?
Of course it is. You just might need to tell some rangers to grab a wrench once they're done hunting hiss.
Slide projector.
Did anyone ever mention to you that Darling was using the slide projector?
Well, Salvador never did, but I doubt he even knew. Look, I'm well aware that it's our job to study and contain the things that we don't understand, but some of the things that Darling did were way outside of our mission statement. Look, these things are not toys, and acting like they are is only ever going to end one way. At least Pope seems to understand that.
Well, it's secure now. No one can reach it without my say-so.
But thank Christ for that.
Marshall.
Marshall's been missing for a while now. Any ideas where she could be?
The last time I saw her was in maintenance when I was leading the Rangers out of the Atlas. Yeah, I told her it wasn't safe, but she said she had to go check on something.
Did you ask where she was going?
Whew. Marshall is not the kind of person you question. Kind of intimidating, you know? But, she was by herself, if that helps at all.
Not really, but thanks. Hopefully she turns up. I'll see you later.
You know where I'll be.
Right here.
This will make a great Night Springs episode. Visitors from the Red Zone.
Welcome back, Director.
That's the elevator. Seeing if there's anything else new here.
Of Dylan Faden, specifically looking for physiological abnormalities.
Oh, that got a bit framey.
She wants to
It was in game, so
Lots of work for a medic.
Any luck finding the armory?
None. Looks like it got shifted. We have rangers checking each sector.
Size the house on. Team's looking. Hopefully watching the location.
just the radio. Doesn't look like there's anything new up here. I don't want to see that office again.
Director Faden did a fine job handling this, especially considering how new she is.
I suppose, but the hiss are still all over the Bureau. When is she gonna get them out?
I'm sure she's working on it. It wouldn't kill you to admit she's doing a good job.
At least someone thinks I did a good job. Doesn't look like anything else new here.
When do you think Marshall's coming back? It's not like her to be absent during a crisis.
I'll be here waiting for you when you wake up, brother.
I can't go in there.
If you wake up.
It'd be cool if once you finished all side quests and everything that he did wake up.
The director shut it down. No problem. It's a huge victory. Huge.
She sacrificed her brother's soul to seal his dimension.
What are you talking about? I've told you 100 times to stop with your conspiracy horseshit.
You heard the director stop the hiss, right? Sounds like she can really handle things.
Finally, someone had the balls to take the fight to them. It's about time.
Jesse Faden, Director of the Federal Bureau of Control. I still don't quite believe it. But you always knew where we were headed.
Going up this way, it's cool.
Even if it was a dream, I feel Darling reached out to me through the hotline. I have a feeling he and Trench won't be the only...
Situation, crisis. We demand your attention, Moxie. Oldest house is in danger. We open the door. Tree in maintenance. Hurry. Post haste.
Problem in the foundation. That was Auti's vacation spot. We need to check this out.
Oh, 7. So that's the one I wanted to unlock. Yeah, I'll go towards that one. Different outfits, directors and janitors. I prefer civilian.
Dark, quiet, trans-dimensional. This place really suits Ahti.
I think this is to the platform that borders over here, so I'd need to go the other way. Yep. That's what I thought. Got to find a door. The only door-like thing I can see is the control point, which is right there.
So that etching is the door.
Nope.
Okay, let's try opening it.
Here it is. Just if I looked right next to me when we first got here. No.
No time for sightseeing. The board said this was an emergency.
Pity it's so dark in here.
Looks like no one's been down here in a while.